Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. I'm so happy you're here. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a January and February reading wrap up. I decided to combine like 2 months together, so it'll be January, February, March, April, so on and so on, just because I feel like I don't read that many books each month, but so like I feel like the video would be really short, so I was like, might as well combine 2 months together where I have like a good number of books I could go through. So in January and February, I read 13 books in total. I read 8 books in January, 5 in February, which I feel like makes sense. January, I was at home for most of it because of break, because I'm in college. So I was at home for most of it so I could read more. I was filming a lot of content and all of that. February, that's my first month back at school fully, getting used to the schedule and all my new clubs and everything. So it kind of made sense that I didn't read as much in February. I do want to read more in March. I feel like I want to get through more books because I definitely feel like I could have. So I'm a little sad that I didn't get through more. I don't know why. 13 books is still really good, but I think just because in my head I knew I could have spent more time reading and I just didn't. So then March, I really want to get through more books, but we're going to go through them. January started out with some bangers because I was filming my finding my first star of the year video in the start, so I was able to read some pretty good books. So the first book I read was Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This was on Libby. I read it on Libby, and I gave it a 3.25 stars. I enjoyed the book, but it just really wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite. I just didn't like the main character, Mitch. Wait, no, wait. I didn't like, what was the other main character's name? Yeah, Mitch. Wait, no. Yeah. I didn't like the main character, Mitch, as much as I liked Morrie. I felt like Morrie really carried, and Mitch was just kind of annoying. So, not my favorite, but I do love the story. I do get that there's life lessons in there, but they weren't my favorite life lessons. So, yeah. Also, guys, I want to say, I got through a lot of my physical TBR. I forgot to say that. But there's a lot of, like, physical books here. I'm so proud of myself for reading more physical books and not just on my Kindle. Like, looking at it. Even though some I did read on my Kindle, like the Binding 13 stuff. But other than that, that's pretty good. The next book is Loved One by Ayesha Mirar. I cannot say her last name, but you can see. Loved One. I gave this one 4 stars. I enjoyed this book. I just found the main character a little annoying at times, and like I wasn't very satisfied at the end. I think the main thing was I was not satisfied at the end. I really had high expectations for this because people were saying like this book reminds them of Olivia Dean, like her album, The Art of Loving, and it just didn't fully give that to me personally, but I do see why people like it, and I would recommend it. Like, it was a good book. It just wasn't completely as good as I was expecting. The next book I read, I actually read on Kindle Unlimited, then I bought them. But Binding 13 have the edges. They're so cute. This was my first 5-star of the year. I literally loved this book. It's actually having a TV series, which is crazy, so we'll see about that when it comes out. But I really enjoyed the characters and everything. It's so crazy that I gave this 5 stars because I actually started this book like 2-3 years ago, and I DNF'd it, and I picked it up again and gave it 5 stars. So that's so crazy to me, but it was so good. Like, loved it so much. So I definitely recommend. The next book I read, I think I also gave 5 stars. I did. Which, continuing with Binding 13, was Keeping 13. This is the Barnes Special Edition, I believe. It's so pretty. But again, I love this book. I love the characters. Like, this series just is emotionally damaging. So definitely check the trigger warnings if you want to read this. But I just loved them. I love Johnny and Shannon. These are so far my favorite characters. Mine is Gypsy. I love Gypsy. I can't wait till I get to Gypsy's book. I'm not that far yet, but I cannot wait till I get to his book because I know I'm going to love it. Really enjoyed this book. Another 5 stars. I really did start off January with some bangers, so I'm so happy about that. Alright, after reading those two 5-star reads, I decided to take a break from the Binding 13 series, and I read How to Survive Your Murder by Danielle Valentine, and I gave this book 2 stars. It was definitely not my favorite. The ending just felt rushed. It was unsatisfying. The characters just did not hit to me. She was just kind of stupid in my opinion. She was also just like selfish, I felt like. Her actions just weren't very good. So, 2 stars, not my favorite book. I'm glad I read it. It was a quick read. Look how small it is. So it was a quick, easy read, but wouldn't really recommend, honestly. Then after that, I went back to the Binding 13 series, and I read Saving Six. These are all by Chloe Walsh, the Binding 13 series. Or Boys of Tommen series, sorry. I read Saving Six. I gave this 4.75 stars. Not 5 stars. It was close. But I just felt like Aoife, however you say her name. Let me see, actually. Let me just check. Because I always say it wrong. Aoife. I just feel like she was just kind of a little annoying. Like, at times. Yeah, I just felt like she was annoying for no reason at times. If there was, like, a reason, like, Joey and Shannon, like, Shannon could be annoying, but it was for, like, valid reasons. I feel like she wasn't annoying for valid reasons. So, it just got, like, too repetitive, too much. Which is why I got docked down a little bit, but I love Joey. Joey is just, I love him. He's precious. Please. Love Joey. Definitely recommend. The next book I read was The Big Book. I think this was like one of my last books of January. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was close to one of the last books of January. But it was 11/22/63 by Stephen King. The 800, no, yeah, is it 800? Yeah, 800, 900 page book. I read a lot of this on audio, or listened to a lot of it on audio, just because this is a lot to be holding around. And I understood it more listening to it. And like I would diamond paint while doing it compared to reading it. But I gave this 3 stars. Oh, I thought I gave it higher for some reason. I gave it 3 stars. What did I say? I said it was definitely an 800 page. Oh, yes. I did give it 3 stars. Here's why. Here's why I gave this 3 stars. I just like, it was 800 pages, and I feel like the end reversed the whole like 600 pages. I feel like it just, yeah. And I felt like there were so many extra storylines and like plot things that just weren't needed, like just to add to it. Which I guess like I get some points of it, but I don't know. It's just a really lengthy book, but I don't feel like it fully needed all of this length. And then again, at the end, it just kind of reversed everything that occurred. You won't really understand what I'm saying unless you read it, but once you read it, you'll understand. Also, guys, I don't know if you could tell, but this is so hard for me to do because I'm such a person where it's like, once I read the book, I forget what happens. Like, out of sight, out of mind. So I'm trying to, like, describe these things and, like, prove that I read the books, but I just don't remember because, like, some of these were in January, beginning of January, so, like, I do not fully remember. Or, especially if I didn't like the book, then I'm really not remembering. It's so bad. The last book I read in January was Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I gave this 4.25 stars. I did enjoy this. I love the characters. I love the tension between the villain and what's the main character, Evie. I really enjoyed like the tension between them two, and the humor was really good. I like kind of ate this book up. This was my not favorite, but I like this one better than the second one, which I'll talk about in a hot second. But yeah, I feel like it was really cute. It set up the story good, but I do see the series kind of going downhill. But again, we'll talk about it later. But this was a good end to January. So now we're on to February. Again, like I read 5 books in February, so not that many, but that's alright. So the first book I read was The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp. I really enjoyed, no I didn't actually. What did I give this? I gave this 2.75 stars. I did not enjoy this book. I don't know why I was about to lie. God. This book was alright, but it wasn't my fave. Just because, like, the main character was just kind of stupid. Like, I felt like her whole thing, the whole point of her character was that she was, like, super, super smart. Just for her to not be smart at all, she was pretty stupid, and all the other characters were low-key carrying her. So, it just felt like, and then the viewpoints kept on switching, and it got confusing. Like, at first it was like, okay, whatever, then it just kept on switching, so it got super confusing. So, not my fave at all. The next book I read was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I gave this 4.25 stars. I enjoyed this book. Yesterday I filmed reading 1-star reviews, which will be out in March. But I enjoyed this book. I definitely feel like it was more romance than sci-fi. But I appreciated that because I do not understand the romance. I don't. So, not romance. I don't understand sci-fi and like all the science terms and stuff. So I appreciated how it was pretty simple, and like the main focus was like love and like stuff like that, because I was able to understand it more than I would other books. So I liked it. Don't cancel me, but yeah. 4.25. Then the next book, as I was saying before, is Apprentice to the Villain, which is the second book to Assistant to the Villain. I forgot to say my rating. I gave this 3 stars. I liked the other book better, just because, like, this felt a lot, like, it felt very disorganized. Like, I did not know what was going on. It just felt like so much was just, like, happening, and it was just so random, and just, like, boom, 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 boom. Like, it didn't really make any sense. Then I was hoping, oh my god, there's a 3rd book that's already out, and then a 4th book coming out this summer. I thought this book was ending after this. I was like, the series is still going. Like, I wish they wrapped up Evie and the villain story in this, and then the other books followed the other characters, because I felt like they kept on teasing the other characters and the story of the other characters. So I was thinking, you know, something was going to happen with them, just for it to not go anywhere. So, unimpressed, but that's alright. Good enough, I guess. So, 3 stars, I think. 3 stars, yes. The last physical book I read in January was The Mad Wife by Megan Church. This was the March book of the month for the podcast. So obviously I read it in February so that we could talk about it in March. This book also was kind of disappointing. The February books weren't that good. No wonder I'm approaching a reading slump, because they weren't that good. No lie. But this book was also kind of disappointing. I thought this was going to be more about, like, women's beating conformity, or, like, breaking out of conformity and, you know, living just the grand life. And that's just not what it gave, honestly. It's not what it gave. The plot twist sucked. And the first half was so much better than the last half. I'm really disappointed, because the first half I was eating it up. The second half I was like, no, this isn't going to work. So, low-key disappointed, but I'm glad I read it. This was another book that was getting popular, so that's cool. Not for me, though. The last book I read of the month was The Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed the book. I haven't been, like, really in the romance mood, but that one wasn't bad at all. Like, I was actually kind of enjoying it. Well, obviously. But, yeah, that one wasn't as bad as, like, some of the other ones. Like, I was enjoying it pretty well. The characters were older, so they were more mature, which I liked. So, yeah, they weren't, like, miserable to be around, which I really enjoyed. So, I'm super happy about that. I definitely recommend, because that was really good. But yeah, those are the 13 books I read in January and February. Such good reading months. Well, January is better than February. I'm so excited for March and April for it to improve. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I read so many good books these past 2 months. I'm super happy. I was thinking like, oh my god, I barely read any. I only read 13. Mind you, last year at this time, I had read 0. So reading 13 in 2 months is super good. I'm so proud of myself. Just so good. But yeah, I'll see you guys next Sunday with another video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!